Hello first grade, so remember that our learning objective is to create a watercolor wash using several colors. And we know that several means more than two, but not many. So it should be a watercolor wash of 3 to 4 colors. So the first thing that you're going to do is you need to choose the colors that you're going to use in your sunrise or sunset watercolor wash painting, and you need to get those wet. So you're going to put a puddle of water on top of each of the colors that you're going to use. So I'm going to use yellow for my sun. I'm going to use yellow orange. So what I'm doing is taking my paintbrush, getting it wet, and I'm pulling the bristles across the edge of the oval, and the water is coming out of the bristles and sitting on top of the color that I'm using and making a puddle. I'm going to use orange. Maybe I'll use this red violet color. Red orange over here maybe. Okay, so that's probably more than 4, so I'm going to have to make a choice on what I don't use. Okay, so first thing I want to do is use yellow because that's the lightest color and my water's nice and clean, so my yellow will be the brightest. I'm going to paint my sun somewhere on my paper. So I'm going to paint my sun right here. And then I'm going to add some yellow orange around the edge and let those colors bleed together. Now, when you make a wash is where you use more water and just a little bit of paint. So what I'm going to do is get the area around my sun wet with plain water, and you can see that the color is starting to kind of fade and bleed into that water, which is really pretty and a neat effect. And then I'm going to add a little bit more paint, just a touch of paint, and add that around. So I'm not taking my paintbrush and dragging it and trying to scoop that paint out of there and paint a nice dark color. I'm trying to just add a little bit. And so now that I've made this big circle, now I'm going to start to paint side to side and kind of blend these colors and make these colors run around out towards the edges of my paper. So I'm going to use a little bit of red orange. That's a lot of red orange. It's a dark color. And then I want to use some of this red violet color, because we saw this red violet in some of our sunsets and sunrises. So I'm going to add some more plain water for the rest of my paper. Now I don't get my entire paper wet with plain water because by the time I get up there the water might be dry. So I try to do half my paper in water and paint that half, and then the other half. Okay, and so now maybe I'll add a little bit more red orange up here. Remember, it's 3 or 4 colors, so I've used yellow, yellow orange, orange, red orange, and some red violet. So actually I think I've used 5, unfortunately, but it's not terrible. And then I'm going to add some more of this red violet. Now if you have any dark colors anywhere where the paint is dark, you need to add more water to it. So you just get your paintbrush wet with the water and add some more water on top of it to lighten it up. Okay. Alright, and so there is my sunrise or my sunset. My paint fills the paper, no white paper poking through. I've used several colors and I've created a watercolor wash by using more water and just a little bit of paint. And that's how you're going to meet the learning objective, to create a sunrise, sunset using a watercolor wash with several colors.